So this is a very, very, very simple concept in theory. Yes, great. When there is a situation, you're facing whatever situation there is, and it is just not working as I wanted to. There we go. This should work. You're facing a situation, just quite a regular situation, doesn't necessarily have to be something super duper amazing. So you have this situation here, Then there is a bit of space in between, and then there is your reaction. In this tiny little fucking space, you can decide what your reaction over there is gonna be like. So, if the situation is something that makes you feel angry, then there's the situation. There is your, let's call it reaction time, the time where you can basically choose how you're gonna react, and then you're gonna react and you're gonna be angry because you have decided to be angry. And this is the whole reason why I'm talking about that. There is a situation, then you can think, and you can actually expand or increase that little space in between your reaction and the situation. If you choose to do so, if you just choose to wait a bit, maybe even a day, whatever it may be. But in the end, we choose how we react, which is very, very, very fucking important, because we don't get angry because of the situation, We decide to get angry. This is something that Viktor Frankl, a fellow Austrian psychologist and maybe even psychiatrist, I do not really know, also was talking about as well. The author of Man's Search for Meaning. Actually a pretty good book. It's a bit, I think difficult to digest, basically, because it's all about the Nazi thing and whatnot. But anyway, remember, you choose how you react. I have realized something pretty fucking amazing, and I want to share it. As you can see in the background, but also here, I'm a designer. I'm a graphic designer. I graduated last year. Actually a year and a little tiny bit, but I've realized something, Design being a part of my life, but it is not a part of just everyone's life. And I thought, well, in which way can I combine it, In which way can I see things that work in design that then also work in my life? And there we, for example, have balance. Having balance is part of a great design, It shouldn't be chaotic, it shouldn't just be all over the place and whatnot, there needs to be a balance. There also needs to be a structure, but also not too much structure. This would be boring in the end. Also contrast, having a lot of highs and a lot of lows makes just life interesting, as it is the exact same thing in design as well. If you're just always using black, for example, and no other color, well, it's gonna be fucking boring, Nobody wants to have a look at this picture, This is one of the reasons why you have there a red, Everything else is, rather boring. It is black and whatnot. Still pretty interesting because of the different shapes. Also contrast, And also asymmetry and unbalance, Everything being balanced. But then you have also the red and whatnot. So in design and art and whatnot, a lot of things are or can be used as a way to make one's life a bit easier. And so maybe if you do have a problem, if you are just going through something, have a look at one of those greatest pictures that you've seen in your life. Maybe there were art, drawings, paintings, whatever, Leonardo da Vinci, whoever it might be, but maybe just have a look at them very, very closely and see and try to figure out why they're good. Maybe you come to a conclusion that might solve one of your problems. Would be amazing. Parkinson's law, if you can feel it or not, which just states work expands to fill the time available, which just means if you're having a lot of time for a certain task, whatever it might be, you're probably gonna fill this time. You're probably gonna use all of the time that you're having available. So restricting time to see whether you can fit the same work in a smaller time frame makes sense, but one should really be realistic. And asking a question, because Parkinson's law is more or less some sort of a thought experience. What would it look like to finish this in a very short time? How could I do this? Which just really, then forces you to figure out what is the most important part of whatever I'm doing. Then maybe also using the 80-20 analysis to just figure out what is actually important of the things that I'm doing.
Another day, another message after a few weeks, I guess, or days of me not posting anything. If having a bad day, just remember that tomorrow is the next day. There's always going to be a sun, or there's always going to be sun that is rising every single fucking day. So have a bit of trust in the process. Of course, some days are bad, of course, some days are a bit shitty, and of course, some days are indeed horrible, but there is another day. I'm gonna read something for you really quickly. In prosperity, prepare for adversity. In the summer, it is wise to provide for winter, and it is easier to do so. Favors are less expensive, and friendships abounded. It is good to save up for a rainy day. Adversity is expensive, and all is lacking. Note, some people grow conceited in success. Instead, that is when you should be making more friends and allies. So whatever you may be doing at this point in time, maybe you should just do the opposite. Think about doing the opposite, create the scenario, create the situation in your mind, and then reevaluate, whether this would make sense, whether this would be a good option, what would be the benefits of doing so, because maybe, just maybe, it is the right thing to do indeed, and what you're doing at this point in time, which just maybe feels pleasurous, maybe feels good, is the worst thing you can do. But of course, decisions should always be made when being...
I have uploaded 1,548 videos up to this point. Apparently I have 89 subscribers. According to my YouTube analytics, it's 133. In total, there are 21,000 views, and when we scroll down a bit, this is like, per month or on a weekly basis, this is 300 views, and per month 1,407. This is like, monthly gained views. It's just, going down by quite a bit, to be honest. And that is not everything. On Instagram, we have 5,345 posts and 812 followers. And this amount of work does not consider other platforms, like TikTok or Twitter or, the podcast is the same as the YouTube videos most often, and so on and so forth. So in total, it is really a lot of stuff that I did. And what have I achieved? Well, nothing notable. I've been doing this for 3 years now, I guess, maybe even 4. And nothing pretty much has happened. And I'm the only one to be blamed. Or to blame. I'm the only one that is in charge of everything, Of course I can say, okay, people should subscribe and watch my videos, but apparently they're not good enough. Apparently there's something that I'm doing that is wrong. I might just have not figured things out yet. Or maybe this will never ever work. I don't know. The point of this video is, some things just fail. And also the amount of time that I spent on just researching happiness and talking about happiness in those 1,500 videos is also substantial. Am I happy? Well, most often actually not quite. But the thing is, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that things also can go wrong. And everything that one sees on social media or whatnot may not be true or the truth. And this is just what it is for me, and one has to accept that and or work on it. We can respond, we have responsibility, but it is what it is. See it as something as it is. And by the way, you could look everything up. These are real numbers. If you want to, but I guess you believe in me or trust me or whatever.